welcome to Live with Sujay and our series on Black women leaders. Oh, we are live and all the way in living color. I am so excited, delighted, and ignited to have you join us today. And I am so specially excited to have our special guest, Terra Renee, who is the founder of, we call it AWIC, but that stands for African American Women in Cinema. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank
I'm
you for
so pleased to be
coming.
here.
So I'm excited. I've watched just this trajectory at really like the last decade. We were having breakfast pancakes at Jimbo's.
Oh,
And,
yes.
we were just kind of talking about ideas, and then you invited me to one of your red carpet experiences. So tell us what AWIC is and how you got there.
Ooh. So African American Women in Cinema is a nonprofit organization that's basically primarily support women filmmakers of color.
Mm.
And how I got there was, it was just a journey.
A journey, yes. All of us have a journey. So you were trying to find your way in
Yeah.
show business, acting. You've been on Law and Order.
Yes,
Even
yes.
recently, we've seen you.
Mm-hmm.
But then, what said it's time to have an African American women in cinema? Why start this?
I received a call from a casting director who was hired by a major motion picture studio. They were looking for a tall African American woman for an under 5 role, and under 5 roles, under 5 lines,
Okay.
for a part in a movie.
Mm.
And so when I got there and opened the door and saw about 1,000 women fit the bill, I was floored.
Wow.
Very young, but that's when I realized the lack of opportunities, and two, the advocacy rose up in me, and I just wanted to affect change.
So why not be a casting director? What was the road to saying I need to be the advocate and I need to be the change agent?
Because when I started doing my research, I saw that not a lot of scripts that were written by us were being produced by major studios. They were being independently done if the filmmaker could afford it.
Yes.
And if they finally was able to make the film,
Yes.
then a small group was able to see it.
Okay.
Because when the time that I got started, we didn't have the internet, we didn't have YouTube, we didn't have
Okay.
Instagram. So it was four-waller theater, meaning rent the theater,
Yes.
get all your friends,
To pack it out, to cheer up the film. But then where does it go after that?
That's it. That's
So
it.
has the social media and internet made a difference? Is it a game changer?
It is a game changer. It leveled the playing field of sorts, because now, an independent filmmaker who can make a phone on their film, or who can make a film on their phone,
Yes.
and then they can put it on YouTube, so that's worldwide distribution.
Yes.
And they can drive traffic to the actual film. So it's calling up family members,
Yes.
family members calling up friends, drive up the viewership. So that's a lot easier. And pay-per-view.
Yes. Yes.
Pay-per-view
Pay-per-view.
can be economically advantageous as well.
Well, I want to thank you because I had a short film. One was a 3-minute film that I won first prize in the Dare to Overcome Film Festival. And you took that film and you got it in the Cannes Pavilion Noir, the Cannes Film Festival, which is huge. And is it relationships, or what does it take to even do that? So I thank you, but tell me how you got it
Oh
there.
boy! So in the late '90s, I was associate producer of a feature film
Okay.
that was selected for one of the. Well, they didn't want it to put it in major competition, but they wanted it there because they said this is so important. So I ended up being the only woman of color, the only woman on that particular film that got selected for the Cannes Film Festival.
Yes.
And ever since then, I've developed relationships, and folks just really appreciate what I've done. And one day, I got a call, and this call said, "Tara, we know your works. We know you show incredible films by incredible filmmakers, and we have an opportunity for you at the Cannes Film Festival."
Wow.
I said, "Really?" And so they said this particular pavilion, so we have pavilions who are, it's representations of different film industries from different countries from around the world that partner with the Cannes Film Festival.
Yes.
So the Afrique Pavilion.
Yeah, Pavilion
Yes,
Afrique. Oh
yes,
my
yes,
gosh.
yes. So when I heard that, I said, "Wow, really? We have an
Mm.
opportunity to partner with them at this coming upcoming Cannes Film
Yeah.
Festival." He said, "Yes, you do."
Wow.
So I said, "Well, let me then identify the filmmakers that we can show in the south of France."
Well, I thank you because I was in France and my film was there, even if I was not physically there. So you've talked about representation, you've talked about relations and
Yes.
relationships,
Mhm.
and then you've also talked about how you have a reputation.
Mm.
So you have to make sure that all of those are intact
Yes.
and that your name is spoken well of for
That's
you to
true.
get there. And I think sometimes this generation thinks, or many think,
Mhm.
that it's a shortcut. But
Yeah.
you've paid some serious
Uh,
dues. So how long was the journey from your going in that room
yes.
with the under five lines to
Yeah.
now?
24 years
24
plus.
years. Mm.
But I found out something extremely interesting. Someone texts me, one of my ancestors,
Mm-hmm.
who came on the scene, came in this world in the 1800s, and
Mm.
he was an advocate, a civil rights leader.
Mm.
And he was in the military in the Ninth Ward, they called Ninth Cavalry.
Yes, yes, yes.
And he was astounded at how blacks were being treated.
Wow.
I had no idea that was in my DNA.
So you have it in your DNA. You can't sit down.
I can't.
It's in your bloodstream. It's in everything you do. So recently,
Mhm.
again, you blessed me to be at the table with you. But tell us, you had one of the highest honors ever bestowed on a black woman filmmaker. Tell us about that.
Well, I was asked to participate in a film festival called the Whistleblower Film
The
Festival,
Whistleblower Film Festival.
which happens in Washington, D.C. And the co-founder had asked me if I would host a panel. And I said, sure, I would love to host a panel. So, submitting all the information that they needed so they can do what they need to do on their end. And about a week later, I get a note that says, congratulations, you are the first black woman filmmaker producer to ever host a panel on Capitol Hill.
So we're gonna say it a little loud. It's on the hill. We're not talking about on the corner where Ben's Chili Bowl is. I love their hot dogs,
Yeah.
but we're talking about on the hill in the
Yes.
Ford House building,
Yes. Yes.
House of Representatives
Yes.
building.
Yes.
So
House
say
of
that again. You were the
Representatives.
first African American woman, first black woman to do what?
First African American filmmaker, film producer to host
Mm-hmm.
a panel ever in Capitol Hill.
So I want to tell you that the room was filled. They're filled with excitement, but filled with people because we were excited with her, for her. And that's one of the things we also need to learn how to not just educate, but celebrate as you are elevated.
Mm.
And so I just want you to know we're not a hater, we're a celebrator.
Thank you.
But just to be in that room and to be part of the festival. So where does that opportunity go from here? Do you just say I was there and you sit down? What happens with it?
Uniquely, timing is everything.
Say that again. Timing is everything. Yes.
And maybe even about 5 or 10 years ago, when you say the term whistleblower had this kind of to it,
Mm-hmm.
but with the recent things that we've been seeing in the news as it relates to past administration and of sorts,
Yes.
that have taken on a different light,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and also with the new SCODUS,
Mhm.
super excited about
Oh,
her.
yes. I was in the room with her on the second day of her hearings.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Judge, now Supreme Court
Yes,
Justice,
yes,
Ketanji Brown Jackson.
yes, yes.
Oh, what an honor.
Wow.
But yeah, there's a wave. You're saying
Yes,
the timing. There's
yes.
a vice
you
president,
go.
African American
Yep,
woman,
yep.
Supreme Court Justice,
Yes, yes.
filmmaker, first filmmaker on Capitol
There
Hill.
it is.
You know.
And so now it's able to take a life of its own.
Mhm.
So what does that mean? More media opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting ready to air this experience
Mm-hmm.
on a live streaming platform, which is in partnership with HBO.
Yes, yes. Awesome.
And so I think it's going to be around. It's growing legs.
Oh, I love it. So, this should be the saying, remember me when you get to your kingdom or your queendom. But you've taken us along with you. And so when you look out at people who can be at the table with you, what are you looking for?
That's interesting. Very
Mm-hmm.
good.
I'll try to ask interesting questions. I love it. Yes.
Well, I go by instinct.
Mm-hmm.
I have to have a sense. I just don't randomly pick anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And thank God that I listen to that
Mm-hmm.
and be able to be guided by God.
Mm-hmm.
And because as you're going, as you said, up the ladder, it is important who you have around you.
Yes, yes, yes. You have to be
Just can't
surrounded
you,
by goodness and greatness,
yes, you do.
Yeah.
And if it's a purposeful ascension,
Yes.
then you have to be surrounded by purposeful people.
I love that. Oh, that's a quote right there. What did it say? Hashtag purposeful. Say that one more time. If you have to be surrounded by purposeful people, people filled with purpose.
Exactly.
Wow, wow. What's your goal? Where do you want to go? How high do you want to go?
Ooh. Well, I see this as global.
Okay.
Because there are filmmakers in every corner of the world who look like me, who are excellent storytellers,
Yes.
but just need a platform, just need access, just need resources
Yes.
to
Yes.
share that rich story. I was in Tulsa during the 100th anniversary of the massacre.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
And I had an opportunity to talk to some of the descendants. And some of those stories that never made the news,
Right.
that should be told.
Yes.
Because in spite of what transpired, there was inspiration there.
That's right. That's right.
And power.
That's right. And you allowed my film centered on women whose story hadn't been told.
Yes.
The 9/11 operators and dispatchers who were at ground zero 20 years later still working for 9/11, and nobody knew that they had been the ones saving lives, taking the messages from those who were perishing to their loved ones. And those stories have to be told. So are films a set of stories?
Yes, could be.
What else are films? Like what?
Messages.
Messages.
I often say that I love filmmakers who are just rich in storytelling because they're prophets.
Oh.
They're prophets to that generation. They either tell you what's getting ready to happen,
Right.
so you got to pay very
close attention.
Exactly, and
Yes.
you'll see,
Yes.
and be able to connect the dots later.
One of the things I work with black women in ministry who are leaders, and one of the things I really desire to do is take them back to Ghana, West Africa. Even though we don't know exactly which country we come from, we know that a whole lot of slaves disembarked from there. And I want them to sit at the feet of the storytellers there, the griots, the women who told the stories, because we have to connect the dots. We didn't just get here telling messages because we were just born a certain day, but you have to connect the dots from across the water to when we arrived at this side, and then our families, So I really love that you're doing that. You talked about going global, which is one of the reasons we formed the Global Black Women's Chamber of Commerce, because our stories collectively, our businesses collectively need to be known about. We know about all the other businesses, the majority businesses, but who's paying attention to the filmmaker? Who's helping the filmmaker get distribution or getting investors to do new projects? Those are the things we really care about. So you want to go global. Tell us, everyone who's been on the show has had a little seam of how faith has streamed through their life. You mentioned the word prophet. What has faith meant to you?
Boy, everything. If I could indulge you just for a few seconds.
Sure.
It was one of the programs that we did during the Sundance Film Festival. And it was one of our most challenging because what we had in place all of a sudden was not in place. And now here we are. Now, before the pandemic, the Sundance would happen at the end of January.
Yes, yes.
So now here we are in December. No film, no support.
Wow.
Not sure about the venue that we had partnered with
Yes.
because I found out later our main person, Connect, was in the hospital fighting for his life.
Okay. Okay.
But yet I felt God, that's my faith,
Mm.
saying, I need you to move forward in this. There's
You
a
need
purpose.
to be there. You need to
Exactly.
be there.
Exactly. Forget what it looks like. It's like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Media is what it looks like, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway, fast forward, one phone call got a film in that I was a little nervous about because Sundance is mainstream. This was a faith-based film.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to. Yeah. You walk in that
And
line.
I said, wow. Now, we've been doing well all these years, having this program here. We built up an incredible audience. And now, a faith-based film that I haven't seen, but my time is running out, and I'm sensing strong to go with it.
Mm.
Blind faith.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I told the filmmaker, okay, I'll do this. I don't know why I'm saying it, but yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now we get the film where we finally hear from our guy who made it out of the hospital. He's doing well.
Wow.
And so now the last piece was the sponsor we were supposed to have.
Yes.
Did not know what happened. So now we needed to find a last minute sponsor.
Mm.
Came 2 days before the event. So we execute the event. We get on site. We're about to, it's ready for showtime.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, a blizzard out of nowhere
Oh no.
came, and I said, God, you told me to be here. I'm here. Where's this blizzard coming from?
Right.
There's 2 people in the audience. We're normally used to several hundred.
Right.
And so I said, okay, I'll take a breath. They took me to, Kevin Costner was using the studio, so they took me to his office.
Okay, let's just, we can't just drop that to Kevin Costner takes you to his office.
Well-
Okay, we're going to just make sure we hear those names. Okay.
They took me to Kevin Costner's office because he was renting the studio for his show Yellowstone.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting there and I'm writing a note, my speech, and now I finally come out. The place is packed.
Oh my goodness.
What I didn't know, the studio hired 2 vans, 2 drivers. I don't know where they told people to pick that they were going to pick them up at, but they did.
Now you have a packed studio.
Packed place.
Wow. Wow. Your film is ready. You
Film
have a
is ready.
sponsor.
Have a sponsor, and then we won an award
At
from that.
Sundance?
Yes.
Well, you get a high five on that. I know, we got to make contact.
Yeah.
What was the name of that?
The name of the award was the best program during the Sundance Film Festival.
Mm.
And who gave us the awards were the staff members from the Sundance Institute and the studio staff.
That's tremendous. So what the world calls a hunch, you're like, that's my faith. I got to go with it.
Yes.
And however people do it, some say it's my intuition, some
Yes.
say it's mother's wit, whatever. But you said, I've got to be there, and
Yes.
you win an award there. And I think that's, speaks to, how you have to just be persistent.
Yeah.
When you know it's a yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get 8 no's, but
That's
there's a
so
yes
true.
somewhere there, and you keep going till you get that yes. When I was going through my Senate confirmation hearings, and this community came in numbers, but when I was going through my hearings, you can't tell anyone that you're a nominee.
Oh.
And like you said, all of the obstacles, all of the challenges, anything that could happen. And I was going from Sag Harbor to Washington like 2 and 3 times a week on my dime.
Wow.
So you're talking 2 hours to get to the city, 4 hours to get to Washington each way. And it was like, no, you're supposed to do this. And it took a year and a half.
Wow.
But guess what? I was unanimously voted in in the room next to where Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson was. But you have to be persistent. You have to be consistent.
Yeah.
And I think those are the things that happen with you. And you have to keep, you said purposeful people around you. You have to know what your purpose is and keep focused on that. So it's relations, it's relationships, it's being persistent, it's all of those things. And now you have representation. You are representing us globally and want to expand that view.
Yes.
So, who are some of the, if you can say, I know your family is some of the people you surround yourself with. So we go to the hill. You have your mother, your father, your
Yes.
brother.
Yes.
So talk about family and how important that is for you to stay purposeful and stay focused.
Well, that's your roots.
Yeah.
And so they see you in all kind of ways.
Mhm.
And they're able to speak to you from a depth that no one else can.
Yes.
And so my mother and father always encourage me and say, the sky's the limit.
Yes.
You go out here and don't let anybody tell you anything negative,
Right.
because you have what it takes.
Wow. Wow.
And my brother, my sister, I'm the oldest, so
Okay.
they cheer me on.
Okay, so they're your cheerleaders.
Yes.
Exactly, exactly. No matter what it takes.
Mhm.
And because there's some days you feel like you're gonna break.
Oh, boy.
And whether it's from just the struggle or
Yes.
just physical energy.
Yes.
So what do you do to keep yourself going in
Mhm.
terms of physical energy? How do you keep yourself
Mhm.
going and glowing? I mean, you look glamorous on a
Well,
on a summer day. So what keeps you going and what keeps you growing and what keeps you glowing? How do you keep yourself going forward?
Well, I'm an optimist by nature,
Okay.
and I'm a firm believer in God.
Mhm.
And I really believe in looking for the good,
Mhm.
looking for the positive,
Yes.
speaking that. And no matter what happens, understand that if it's negative, it's temporary.
Yes.
And I will get through the other side. And see it as a lesson of growth and development.
Mhm.
I have an opportunity to be my best self.
Yes.
And no one else can be me but
Right.
me.
That's it. You're one of a kind. Yes, one of a kind. Do you exercise? Do
I
you work out?
exercise. I
Mhm.
do my walks,
Okay.
my stretches,
Mhm.
drink plenty of water,
Okay.
and try to get enough sleep as much as possible.
Yes, yes. I know some days it's like, ooh, yeah.
Yes.
And what about I know working out, but what is about just kind of meditation time, prayer time?
Yes, definitely in the morning. It's my time with God.
Okay.
So phones are off, everything's off, and it's just me and God. So there's Bible time, there's prayer time,
Okay.
getting prepared for the day.
Okay. And what do you do for fun when you're not
Ah.
watching films? And they may be fun for you, but what do you do when you're not working? Let me put it that way.
Beach.
Beach?
I am the biggest beach person.
Okay, I'm beach baby here. Beach mama, yes. In fact, underneath here is a bathing suit. I love the summer. I
Yes.
love the water, and the beach is my baby. So,
Yes.
so you as often as you can.
As often as I can.
Okay.
Walking on that sand and just being able to stand and see the body of water.
Yes.
All that is tranquil for me.
Yes.
It's calming, cool, relaxing.
Okay.
Mhm.
So what's on the horizon? And I'm trying to make sure I have the time down. But what's on the horizon that you can talk about? Like a dream, a vision that you'd like to do to help more women of color come into film. Like what are some? If you said A plus B plus C is what it takes, what would your A and B be?
Mm. Well, right now, we're doing the educational series,
Okay.
which is bi-monthly. That's free.
And how do people access that?
They can go to our website, which is aawic.org.
Okay, aawic.org. Okay.
Our next one is, coming up soon. And we also have the monthly filmmaker series, which is on the Clubhouse app.
Oh, is
You
it
just
really?
call in.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What days do you have it on a special day and
It's
time?
the last Mondays of each month.
Okay. And what time?
It is at 6:00
Okay.
p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And that's on Clubhouse.
And that's on Clubhouse.
All right.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
So, if you could like plan this red carpet. This is a request now. We talked about relations. We talked about representation. So this is a request. I like R words. I like a lot of alliteration. So I want to walk down the red carpet.
Okay.
So can we plan something in the future when we get out of this COVID hybrid
Yes.
mode? But I'm so excited when I'm around you. I'm excited about the friends. And you also have regular times where we can be visually seen, where we're interviewed after the Cannes Festival and other ways. So where do you want to take social media? Where do you think social media can take you as you go forward?
Well, we're going to utilize it as a distribution format
Okay.
where we can now amplify the voices that I now represent,
Yes.
who was not able to speak loud enough because
Yes.
he didn't have the platform or
Right.
opportunity to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the role I see social media playing.
Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
now you're the tall woman, not going in the room with under 5 lines,
Right.
but you're the tall woman who says, I can stand anywhere in the globe representing African American women in cinema
Mhm.
and opening doors
Yes.
where they weren't open before,
Yes.
amplifying voices that
Yes.
weren't amplified before.
That's right.
How can people find you that want to find you?
Sure. Well, number one, our website, which
Website. Say that
is
again.
AAWIC.org.
Okay, and so AAWIC
Mhm.
stands for African American Women in Cinema. So AAWIC.org. And
Mhm.
where else?
Facebook.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we have AWIC International.
Okay.
And then on Twitter is AWIC, and Instagram is AWIC,
Okay.
AAWIC.
Okay, so you're on some platforms. I love it. I love it. Well, you've been here today. We've been with Terra Renee, the tall woman who didn't just walk in the room for under 5 lines, but the tall woman who came as our guest today and who's opening doors, who's blowing doors open in the film world for women of color. You can find her at aawic.org, which stands for African American Women in Cinema.org. But most of all, I'm excited not only that she's a beach woman, but that she's my friend. You've been with us for Live with Sujay today, and we're going to be on Wednesdays at 5:30. We hope that you'll join us. We're just delighted to be with you. Thank you for being our guest. Wherever you are, whether you're on the beach or you're in the home or in your studio, just stay with us and always tune in for Live with Sujay. You can find us on the website here for LTV, or you can find us on Channel 20 wherever you are in Long Island. But most of all, just find us. Hope that you'll be with us soon to see all of our guests, to hear these wonderful women in this Black Women Leaders series. A shout out to all of our team for helping us. It's been my delight to have you today and to be with you as your host. Again, this is Live with Sujay, all the way live and in living color. Take care until we meet again.